So let's raise the big questions tonight. The wrestler's plea for justice, has it really been heard finally? Will Brij Bhushan face justice or not? Have the charges against him been watered down? Is Brij Bhushan a villain or is he a victim? Let's raise those questions. Anjali Bhardwaj is a social activist who's been actively involved in supporting the women wrestlers' cause. Amitabh Sinha is a lawyer at the Supreme Court associated with the BJP. Neeraj Kumar is former Commissioner, Delhi Police. Aman Lekhi is a senior advocate and former Additional Solicitor General. First to you, Anjali Bhardwaj, your first reactions on the fact that a 1500-page voluminous charge sheet is filed based on the complaints made by the women wrestlers on sexual harassment, but the POCSO charges have been subject to a cancellation notice by the police because the victim in this case changed her statement.
Yes, Rajdeep, I think the cancellation report in the POCSO case is indeed very, very unfortunate. It has been very clear that there was a need to immediately arrest the accused, given the fact that he is politically powerful, the huge imbalance of power. On the one hand, the accused, who is a member parliament, he's a Bahubali, it's very well known, and he was also the chief of the federation. And on the other hand, this minor and these wrestlers, these players. So what should have been done was not done, and it is something that has caused considerable apprehensions, and I think those apprehensions have been proven correct today.
No, but the statement was, 1 minute, Anjali Bhardwaj, you're saying that, are you saying that Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh should have been arrested on the 5th of May, and I'm putting now the timeline. On the 5th of May, the Delhi police recorded statements of 7 wrestlers who alleged harassment. On June 3rd, Home Minister Amit Shah met the wrestlers part midnight. On June 6th, it emerged that the minor wrestler has given a new statement, withdrawn the charges. The original charges were made on the 5th of May by the minor. Are you saying that right on the 5th of May itself, Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, the moment the minor claimed that she had been sexually harassed and a complaint was filed under POCSO, he should have been arrested right away without inquiry?
Given the huge imbalance of power in this particular case, Rajdeep, and the fact that POCSO has been invoked, I think it should have been the duty of the Delhi police to issue notice and arrest Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, because there was a huge fear of intimidation and tampering with evidence. What has happened today actually corroborates and shows that these apprehensions were not ill-founded. For the police to file a cancellation report, we know how the father of the daughter has gone on record. He has reportedly said that he acted under pressure. There was intimidation. His entire family has been intimidated. So I think this just shows complete failure on the part of the police to actually act in the manner that it should have, to protect that minor and to make sure that justice was delivered. I also want to say one more thing, Rajdeep. The minister called the wrestlers and said that by the 15th of June, the probe will be completed. How did the minister know that?
You are referring to Anurag Thakur here.
Yes, and nobody other than the police, the investigating officer, can estimate when a probe can be completed. This, according to not just us, but even retired Supreme Court judges, shows that there was interference in the process of investigation. I think there has also been a very strong demand for a court-monitored probe that should have happened. And the fact that the entire machinery seems to be protecting the accused is really sending out a terrible signal to the women of this country and to the people of this country about the state of the rule of law. We are very, very clear that in a situation like this, where there is sexual harassment, sexual assault that is being, the allegations are of that against such a powerful person, leaving him out and not arresting him has today led to the situation that we are at.
And let me stop you. Let me stop you because, you've made the point. You believe that this case, there has been undue pressure, intimidation on the minor's family. Her father has gone on record he has given interviews to Hindi newspapers and suggested that he was fearful for his daughter's safety. However, in the actual FIR, it is suggested that the girl has now, in the cancellation notice, has made another statement saying she was targeting Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh for other reasons. I want to understand from you, Amitabh Sinha, do you agree that this timeline दाल में कुछ काला है या आप मानते हैं? April, first of all, it takes 3 months and Supreme Court intervention for the Delhi police to file an FIR on the complaints of these women wrestlers, many of whom have represented the country only on April 28th. Then you have Amit Shah ji meeting the wrestlers on June 3rd, and now on June 6th, 7th, minor records new statement, and on 15th, the charge sheet has opted to give a cancellation notice on the minor charge. दाल में कुछ काला है, कहीं ना कहीं कुछ प्रेशर तो हुआ है.
Rajdeep, first of all, I would like to lodge my protest with your introduction, which you have introduced to me, to your viewers about me, that BJP associated with BJP. So I must tell you that you should withdraw this line. It was unnecessary, and I was invited, and I had asserted that
no,
I
you are
will
not
be
associated with the BJP. Are you telling me you are not associated with the BJP, Mr. Sinha?
No. No, I am here as a lawyer.
Okay.
Then I can tell you also that you are associated with some political party. This is unfair.
Okay.
I am here as a lawyer, as a practicing lawyer.
So you tell me now, as a practicing lawyer, you tell me दाल में कुछ काला है.
यहाँ आता है. नहीं मुझे हाँ दाल में कुछ काला है, ये इंट्रोडक्शन दाल में कुछ काला है, ये नहीं करना चाहिए आपको राजदीप. मैं आपका सम्मान करता हूं, आप हम लोग इतने पुराने मित्र हैं. Why you should unnecessarily?
ठीक है, आप बताइए.
अब मैं आता हूं उस मुद्दे पे. What you wanted to know from me?
Yes.
हाँ, मेरा पॉइंट है, अभी आज की डेट में जो स्थितियां आपने जो पूछा है, मैं उसी के आधार पे कहना चाहता हूं कि एक जैसे शेर ने बकरे को कहा, पुरानी कहानी है कि तेरे दादा ने गाली दी थी, तो उसने कहा नहीं उस समय दादाजी नहीं थे, फिर नहीं पिता ने गाली दी थी, नहीं तूने गाली दी थी, मैं तुझे खाऊंगा. अभी भारद्वाज मैडम थी, उन्होंने कहा कि कैसे कह दिया स्पोर्ट्स मिनिस्टर ने कि 15 जून तक इस चार्जशीट फाइल होगी. प्रेशर था कि एट अर्लीस्ट फाइल होना चाहिए. तो आपस की एक मीटिंग में जो कई घंटे चली, उसमें जैसा मुझे बताया गया कि उसमें प्रेशर बनाया गया, और वो लोग जो कि स्टेट्स के थ्रू जस्टिस चाह रहे थे, मैं इस बात से असहमत हूं. यदि जस्टिस मिलना है तो उसका एक लीगल प्रोसेस होता है. सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी उसको कहा. यहाँ पर जब यदि प्रेशर में
अरे अगर सर अगर वो रास्ते पर नहीं जाते तो कंप्लेंट
लेटेस्ट बाय 15 एक मिनट लेटेस्ट बाय 15 चार्जशीट फाइल हो जाएगी.
पुलिस तो तैयार भी नहीं थी कंप्लेंट फाइल करने के लिए.
आई थिंक दिस इज हाईली अनप्रोफेशनल. नहीं चार्जशीट फाइल करने के लिए, चार्जशीट फाइल करने के लिए जो डेडलाइन अनुराग जी के थ्रू दी गई थी. आपकी आवाज ब्रेक हो रही है, सॉरी, मैं कुछ अपनी बात खत्म करूं जी. माय पॉइंट इज वेरी क्लियर कि जो भी हुआ इन द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ द कंट्री हुआ. जो स्पोर्ट्स है, स्पोर्ट्स के सेक्टर में जितना भी ये एक गेम हुआ है जिसमें स्पोर्ट्स का नाम खराब हो, इंडियन स्पोर्ट्स का नाम इंटरनेशनल एरेना में, मैं मानता हूं पर्सनली इसमें कोई पॉलिटिकल मेरा अप्रोच नहीं है. मैं एज ए सिटीजन मानता हूं कि ये एक टूल किट गैंग काम कर रहा है और वो इंडियन स्पोर्ट्स को मलाइन करने की कोशिश है. क्योंकि मैं आपको एक बात बताऊं.
No, sir. This toolkit gang. No, are you telling me that Vinesh Phogat, Vinesh Phogat, Sangeeta Phogat, Bajrang, Punia, all part of toolkit gang? ये कब तक चलेगा toolkit gang? कोई कुछ बोले toolkit gang.
Don't take names. Anybody can become toolkit member of, that tool of the toolkit. मैं क्या कहना चाहता हूँ, सुनिए पहले धैर्य से. मैं किसी के ऊपर में पर्सनल कंप्लेंट वो नहीं देना चाहता, कोई अटैक.
अरे ये महिलाएं हैं.
मेरा पॉइंट ये है,
you think it's easy for a woman to say that she has been sexually harassed?
अच्छी बात है.
By a powerful man to call them a toolkit gang? ये वर्ड, ये सही वर्ड नहीं है आपका.
एक चीज सब मैं इंसिस्ट करता हूँ. Yes, because the entire process was hyped not in India but outside India also. और उसमें विदेशी जो प्लेयर्स हैं वो इन्वॉल्व हो गए, यहाँ के पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज इन्वॉल्व हो गई, जो हमेशा से ये मानती है कि भारत को मेलाइन करना ही उनका सबसे एकमात्र उद्देश्य है. और मैं लास्ट में एक चीज कहना चाहूंगा, लास्ट में, कि देखिए इस सब चीजों में आज मैं मानता हूं कि जो सबसे बड़ा उनका प्लान था कि पॉक्सो एक्ट अपने आप में डिमोलिश हो गया। मुझे ये जानकारी है कि वो उसमें उस बच्ची का जो भी जिस भी लड़की ने उस पर कंप्लेंट फाइल की थी उसको विड्रॉ करने के कई फैक्टर्स थे। अब उसको आप चैनल में यदि दोहरवाएंगे तो उस बच्ची का अपना जो बेइज्जती होगी। मुझे जो मिली है जानकारी कि उसके आधार पे कि वो लड़की जो है उसके स्कूल के सर्टिफिकेट के हिसाब से शी इज नॉट अ माइनर। तो इसीलिए बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें हैं।
Okay, so you're saying that Brij Bhushan, okay,
that is more important.
Okay, now you have made your point. And let me go to Neeraj Kumar, because police, as a police officer, no, Neeraj Kumar, look at the police's role. The wrestlers go on protest in January. It requires a Supreme Court intervention for the police to even register the complaint, eventually file an FIR. There is a complaint made under the POXO Act at that time. The police doesn't act on that and query. No, does not query Mr. Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh for weeks, although under the POXO Act, technically he can be arrested right away. Then 5 weeks later, the complaint is retracted. The father has gone on record saying there was a fear factor. Please, did the police give enough time for whoever wanted to intimidate perhaps the young woman wrestler so that Mr. Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh got away? Are you satisfied with the role the Delhi police has played?
The short answer to your question, Rajdeep, is sadly, no, I'm not. Today, I tried my level best to get information from my colleagues on these very points, but they were not willing to share the information with me. Therefore, I hold no brief for them today. I'm sorry to say this. I would have very much liked to put across the Delhi police point of view. In the absence of any information or any briefing from any one of my colleagues handling the matter, I'm unable to do so.
But but prima facie, are you satisfied with the way this case has been handled?
I have already told you that no. My short answer to you is I am not. Because the impression that has gone is that even to get a case registered, you have to approach the Supreme Court for a direction for the process of law to begin.
Okay.
Therefore, I'm not satisfied.
I think as one of the leading police officers of the country, for you to say that you're not satisfied with the way the police has handled this is, I think, an important statement which I think should be registered right away. Aman Lekhi, your view as a senior advocate, former Additional Solicitor General, are you satisfied with the way the law has played out in this case? Or is there a fear that when you have a powerful person involved, he will always get away?
Well, Rajdeep, I feel that the process has been disgraced, and whatever disparagement which is there in public domain about the police conduct is wholly justified. It has required less for the police to arrest, and in this particular case, the nature of the allegations, the number of people making the allegations, the seriousness of the allegations, the person against whom the allegation is made, and the integrity of investigation required the police to act differently, the way the police usually acts when it's dealing with people not as well as calm as the accused in the instant case is. That said, some of my colleagues have talked about toolkit. Now, toolkit is a different issue altogether. I want to mark 2 points. One, insofar as the age is concerned, I mean, it's ludicrous to say that there's an affidavit about age, because in wrestling there are categories. And there are age categories, and for age categories there has to be age verification, and that is part of the accreditation process. So to verify the age, you don't need to have any elaborate investigation, because you're dealing with the Wrestling Federation, and insofar as the participation in that category is concerned, that itself will be decisive, unless of course you say that there has been some forgery in the documentation which is there, for which the liability will be with the Wrestling Federation of India, firstly. Secondly, insofar as the statement is concerned, mainly because a complainant withdraws the statement, doesn't in any way exonerate an accused, and doesn't absolve the police of the responsibility to investigate, because the efficacy of that particular allegation and the need for investigation does not rest solely on a statement, because as the statement is concerned, the statement can be made and withdrawn and the withdrawal statement may have nothing to do with the veracity of what is being stated. So the obligation on the police to investigate is independent of that particular statement, so the police cannot rely upon that statement. This is number 2. Number 3, and very significantly, insofar as the father is saying, now the father is saying intimidation. When the father is saying intimidation, that itself is a marker in the context in which the whole thing is unfolded, because as you very correctly pointed out, there was a delay even in the registration of the FIR. Because when there is a delay in the registration of the FIR, the battle of perception is lost. I am not saying that the police did it willfully, but the question is, it is reasonable to presume that the police was reluctant. And that reluctance is absolutely evident in the delay in the registration of the FIR itself.
Right.
Now, when you choose not to register an FIR, and therefore for that reason are reluctant to investigate, then insofar as the bona fides of the process is concerned, that become inherently suspect. And your willingness to actually go after the accused is consequently affected. Now, once that is the understanding of the process, then the exoneration by the police is in any way going to be suspect.
So you're
but
saying that the court can look at
this
this
is the most important
exoneration.
point.
The court could see the exoneration as suspect based on the fact that the witness, that the minor's father has claimed that he was intimidated. The court can relook at it. Am I correct?
No, not just that. As far as the court, because this is off the record. Now, what the court can do, and this is a very pertinent point, the court is not bound by what the police says. Because as far as the jurisdiction of the court is concerned, is independent opinion of the police. Notwithstanding the police saying there is no case made out, the court can yet disagree. And the court can disagree and take cognizance, taking into account the totality of the cases, 1. The court can order a further investigation, 2. The court can conduct an inquiry or have an inquiry made by another magistrate, 3. Or the court can take cognizance of the complaint itself. So as far as this particular issue is concerned, that's the worth of our rights, and insofar as the substance of whatever we claim to be aggrieved by is in the domain of examination by the court and is not in any way controlled by the opinion of the police.
Okay, I take your point, and that's an important...
Mainly because, and this is what I read somewhere...
That's an important point you're making, that it is not the opinion of the police. The court can take cognizance of the complaints that were filed in the period, the manner in which it was done. You know, Anjali Bharadwaj, right through this case, I have heard people saying, where is the evidence? You know, what is the evidence they have? We have now got witnesses that include referees coming on record. We've got others from the Wrestling Federation, other women who have corroborated what some of these wrestlers have said. 1500-page charge sheet. Do you believe that that original charge sheet made by the women wrestlers will stand the test in a court of law? How confident are you that the evidence will stick?
Ajdeep, what we've been seeing is the police asking for video evidence, for audio evidence, all sorts of things, including trying to recreate the scene of crime, and at a time when Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh was reportedly present at his residence at the scene of crime. So I think this is a very important question. It is very clear that in cases like these, the kind of allegations that have been made, what is the kind of evidence, the photo or audio or video evidence that the police expects to get? Is anybody going to do this in public? Is there somebody going to be making a video of this? Are these women expected to do a video or an audio recording while they are being molested and while they are being stalked? I think it's very clear that in this particular case, we are not going the way in which we are expected to. The police is not going the way in which it is mandated to. In cases like this, a very clear pattern where not 1, not 2, 7 women are saying that there is a clear pattern of molestation, of sexual harassment and assault. I think there is absolutely no reason, and I really hope that the court will go into the kind of evidence that they have already given in their statement. Their statement should be the evidence. They are saying where it happened, how it happened, they're giving details. All of these are verifiable facts. And just look at the kind of imbalance of power, how it's stacked up. And Rajdeep, I also want to say here that this entire thing about toolkit, I think it's most unfortunate because as it is bad enough that the system seems to be protecting the accused just because they're politically powerful. And then women are having to do all of this despite such stringent laws existing, the POCSO, other criminal law amendments and so on after Nirbhaya that have happened. Why was there a need for women to come to the street?
I take your point, ma'am. I take your point. I am the father of a young daughter as well, and I ask you, Amitabh Sinha, I don't know whether you have a young daughter, but आप मुझे बताइए, ये महिला रेसलर्स हैं, एक नहीं, दो नहीं, 7 हैं, रेफरीज हैं, कई लोगों ने बयान दिए हैं, आप सबको मानते हैं झूठ, और ब्रिजभूषण शरण सिंह जिन्होंने कैमरा पर मर्डर चार्ज के लिए कन्फेस किया है, आप उसको मानते हैं सही? आज इस प्रोग्राम में कोई बीजेपी का ऑफिशियल स्पोक्सपर्सन भी नहीं आना चाहता था। आप मुझे बताइए आज क्या कहीं ना कहीं इस ब्रिजभूषण को बचाओ, आप टूल किट की बात करते हैं, मैं तो उल्टा कहूंगा, ये तो एक जो टूल किट है वो तो ब्रिजभूषण को बचाने में लगी है, पूरी सिस्टम जो है, यंत्रणा जो है उसे बचाने में लगी है। क्या आप मानते हैं? आप महिलाओं को बिलीव नहीं करोगे, बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ की बात जो करते हैं वो महिलाओं को बिलीव नहीं करेंगे, लेकिन एक बाहुबली को बिलीव करेंगे। क्या ये सही है? आपको लगता है? व्हाट इज द मैसेज?
Rajdeep, I can very well understand your, emotionally charged statements and the observations. मैं आपकी बात को पूरी तरीके से समझ रहा हूँ, और जो बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ और ये सारे जो अभी तक के स्लोगन्स हैं वो मैं बहुत ध्यान से सुनता रहा। मैंने वकील होने के नाते, बीइंग अ लॉयर, आई हैव गॉन थ्रू सो मेनी केसेस लाइक दिस। अभी मैं अपनी पर्सनल, यदि मुझे एक मिनट का मौका दें, आई हैव हैंडल्ड अ केस in a vacation bench of Supreme Court very recently, only last week, and the case was simultaneously charged with rape and dowry, both. उसमें सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जज ने कहा कि हाउ बोथ द चार्जेस कैन बी रन टुगेदर, रेप और साथ में डॉरी केस था, जो कि द बॉय एंड द गर्ल वेर नॉट मैरिड। मैं कई चीजें ऐसा करता हूं कि इसमें जो लॉज हैं आज इंडियन सिस्टम में, उसमें जो
सर मैं आपकी बात को, मैं आपको सीधा सवाल पूछ रहा हूं, क्या आपको लगता है सब कुछ झूठ है, ये सब लोग झूठे हैं और केवल ब्रिजभूषण शरण सिंह सही बोल रहा है?
नहीं, ऐसा मैं नहीं,
मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूं।
मैंने नहीं कहा। राजदीप धैर्य रखिए, मैं बहुत गंभीर और संवेदनशील विषय पे बात कर रहा हूं आपसे। आपने यंत्रणा शब्द का प्रयोग किया, यंत्रणा शब्द मेरे साथ भी लागू होता है। मैं एक चीज बताना चाहता हूं आपको, देखिए ऐसी स्थिति में मैंने किसी को निर्दोष नहीं और किसी को दोषी नहीं माना है। चार्जशीट फाइल हुई है, चार्जशीट में सबसे बड़ा जो पॉक्सो कहा जा रहा था, अभी आई विथ ऑल ड्यू रेस्पेक्ट टू अमन लेखी, वी आर कलीग्स, see in this situation if POCSO act is being considered by the court also, then also this contradictory statement and intimidation charges, देखिए मैंने कभी इंटिमिडेशन चार्जेस को नहीं सुना है, लेकिन यदि उसमें और ज्यादा डीप जाएंगे देन द एज सर्टिफिकेट विल कम अप, और उसकी वजह से फिर काउंटर कई केसेज हो सकते हैं उस लड़की पे जिसने कि अपने एज को छुपा के एक गलत स्टेटमेंट दिया। मैं इस पे अभी नहीं ज्यादा जाना चाहता। दूसरी बात, जो इतना टाइम लगा, नीरज कुमार जी ऑल्सो इज अ रेस्पेक्टेबल पर्सन फॉर मी, आई नो हिम पर्सनली, but he is saying that he is not happy with the Delhi Police Act. I must try to remind him that when that blast case, a terrorist blast case had happened and Delhi police was being charged, he was I think a special CP or something. I personally tried to help him with entire opinion mobilization in favor of Delhi police, because Delhi police is the safest scapegoat. Everybody is trying to just hit him. Neeraj Kumar ji was commissioner police. मैं इतना कहना चाहता हूँ कि 125 witnesses
everyone in the system दूध से धुले हुए हैं, everyone in the system दूध से धुले हुए हैं।
No, I am sorry,
उंगली उठाता है वो टूल किट होता है।
I will conclude. I might be sounding a devil's advocate, लेकिन मैं इतना कहना चाहता हूं कि 125 विटनेसेस एग्जामिन करने थे, कोई आसान काम नहीं था, और 125 में 25 वेर फॉर द चार्जशीट एंड 100 वेर अगेंस्ट द चार्जशीट। मैं इतना कहना चाहता हूं, और लास्टली मैं इतना कहना चाहता हूं, बेटियों की इतनी बात करते हो, 2006 में राहुल गांधी के खिलाफ रेप केस फाइल हुआ, रेप केस, और रेप केस का इन्वेस्टिगेशन क्या हुआ, उस परिवार का क्या हुआ, वो आप लोगों को चिंता नहीं है कि वो सुकन्या सिंह का केस क्या हुआ?
Sir, the judge, sir, in that case, the judge found the evidence was, sir, this whataboutery has to stop. In that case, the judge very clearly found that the evidence did not go by the scrutiny of law, was not verifiable, actually find the complainant. My limited point at the moment is, these are Olympic athletes. These are Olympic athletes who have represented the country, and you don't believe them.
Rajdeep, there was no FIR. I am telling you,
Okay.
there was no FIR.
So
you are not concerned about the FIR at that time.
Okay. I will leave it there. I am not going to engage in whataboutery. As I said, I am also the father of a daughter, and I will always believe, prima facie, when 7 people come up with the kind of evidence that they have, the fact is the police could have investigated this far more thoroughly. For now, I will leave it to the courts to decide. मैं judge नहीं हूँ. I am an observer of what has happened over the last 6 months, and I frankly hang my head in shame at times at the way the system in this country operates when it comes to sexual harassment of women. Let's leave it there.